Yeah. It's probably got something to do with the bloody Russians. What have the Russians ever done to you? What? To me personally? Niet. To you in the West. What have the Russians ever done to you? Poisoning the Skripals? Eh? Sergei Skripal? Condemned as a traitor in Russia? And his daughter Yulia? And a British police officer? And a resident of Salisbury? Poisoned with Novichok, a Russian nerve agent, in Salisbury by two ex-KGB operatives supposedly on holiday to see the cathedral, about which they knew nothing other than a verbatim statement from Wikipedia, thereby committing an act of chemical warfare on British soil. Okay, but apart from poisoning the Skripals, what have the Russians ever done to you? Well, military intervention in Ukraine and the illegal annexation of Crimea. Well, of course, military intervention in Ukraine and the annexation of Crimea. That goes without saying. But apart from that, what have the Russians ever done to you? Meddling in the democratic elections of other countries. Oh yes, there's been a lot of meddling in election campaigns. Madagascar, the United States, and here in Britain. Okay. Apart from poisoning the Skripals, military intervention in Ukraine and annexation of Crimea, and meddling in the democratic electoral processes of other sovereign countries, what have the Russians ever done to you? Cheating at sport. What? Well, the state-sponsored doping scandal in Russia, uncovered by the World Anti-Doping Agency. Yeah, cyber attacks. Shooting down a civilian aircraft over eastern Ukraine. Oh, yes. Denying the existence of homosexuals in Sochi. Yes. The murder of Alexander Litvinenko in London. Oh, yes, that was terrible. And sailing their warships antagonizingly close to the territorial waters of other countries. Yes, indeed. And flying military aircraft close to the airspace of other countries in a provocative manner. Okay. Apart from poisoning the Skripals, military intervention in Ukraine and the annexation of Crimea, meddling in the democratic electoral processes of other sovereign countries, cheating at sport, cyber attacks, shooting down civilian aircraft over Ukraine, denying the existence of homosexuals, the murder of Alexander Litvinenko and others in cities around the world, sailing military ships close to the territorial waters of other countries, and flying military aircraft close to the airspace of other countries in a provocative manner. What have the Russians ever done to you? Peddling fake news to deliberately spread misinformation and confusion, and thus divert attention away from the facts of the situation. Oh, shut up!